Yeah. Hi guys. Thanks for joining the session and welcome to Tungabhadra Networks once again. So today is our first session of our Palo Alto course. Okay. So along with me, Harsha will be there. Okay. He is also part of this Palo Alto project in Tungabhadra Networks. So we both are going to deal this project. Mostly, I will be covering all the topics. So one or two topics. Okay. Harsha will be going to cover, and if you have any doubts, okay, you can reach out to me or Harsha. So for any queries during throughout this course, okay, and we both are going to clear your doubts and make this session very okay, interactive and very good session for you. Okay. So first, welcome to once again welcome to Tungabhadra Networks. So today we are going to learn about mostly we are dealing with Palo Alto, right? So Palo Alto, we are going to learn about the Palo Alto fundamentals. Okay. So before entering to the firewall, so do anyone know what is the role of the firewall? Anyone? Anyone guys? Do anyone know what is the role of the firewall in the network?
To inspect the traffic is coming and
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
internet.
Okay, that's correct. Any other answers?
And managing the security.
Okay.
Security and security division private or private networks.
Okay. Yeah, guys, whatever you have told, that's all correct. Okay. So as of today, okay, you all learned about routing and switching, right? So in the routing and switching, you have learned about how data is flowing from source to the destination. Okay. So in these firewalls, in this security, we are going to learn about how we are going to protect that data. Okay. Whatever you are sending the data from your source to the destination, so how we are going to protect that data. Okay. From routing and switching, you can learn how to send the data, but in the firewalls we can learn how to protect that data, how to secure that data. Okay, that is the main concept of the firewall. So why we need firewall in the network means, so here this firewall is a security device. Okay. So which sits in between your private network and public network. Okay. So let's consider this is the public network and this is a private network, okay, which is sits in between the private network and public network. Okay. So in this private network and public network, you can see here only host and internet, right? So in the real time, you will see mostly switches, okay, and connected to the routers, and router connected to the firewall, and again firewall is connected to a WAN switch, and it is connected to the WAN router, and it is going to the internet. Okay, so like this the topology will be there, but here in this case what we have shown, so it's just sitting, okay, whatever the devices that are available in this. Okay, so we will be calling as a private. Okay, and whatever the devices that are connected outside of our firewall, so this will be calling as a public. So the firewall is a security device which sits in between your private network and public network. Okay, so what is the firewall is going to do? So simply sitting between the public and private network is not used, right? So what firewall is going to do? So whatever you have told, that is correct. So the firewall is going to inspect your traffic. Okay. So inspect your traffic whether it is going outside of your network or coming inside of your network. So how it is going to inspect? So here in this firewall we are going to create some rules. So how you are creating ACLs in the, so most of you know the about the ACLs, right, in the router. So in the same way we are going to create rules in the firewalls. So by using the firewalls, sorry, by using the rules, the firewall is going to inspect your traffic whether it has to be allow or whether it has to be deny. So in both directions, not only one direction, in both directions, whether it is outgoing or whether it is incoming. So sorry, someone, Arvind.
సార్ ఆడ షాప్ ఉంది కదా అపూర్వ మిల్క్ పాయింట్
Yeah. See here, by using the rules, the firewall is going to inspect your traffic. Okay. So whatever the traffic that is going from your private network to public network and from public network to private network. So using the rules, whether it has to be allow or whether it has to be blocked, it depends on the firewall rules. Okay. So here we can control and filter that the firewall is going to control and filter incoming traffic as well as outgoing traffic as well. Okay. So that is the main purpose of firewall here. So in these firewalls, we will be having we will be having two types of firewalls. Okay. So if you are going with any security related interviews, so the first question they are going to ask is what is traditional firewall and what is next generation firewall. So you will encounter this first question. Okay. So if you are going with any security related jobs, so they are asking about what is traditional firewall and what is next generation firewall. Okay. So here traditional firewalls are those which can give basic security. Okay. Basic security based on IPs. Okay. Ports and protocols. So traditional firewalls are those which can provide a basic security based upon IP addresses, ports and protocols. Okay. So based upon L3 and L4 information. Okay. So traditional firewall are those which can provide a basic security which depends on L3 and L4. So if there is any L7 traffic comes, L7 means application layer, right? In OSI model you have learned about all the layers, right? L7 means application layer. So in application layer, most of the traffic coming from, okay, maybe web browsers, or you are using Facebook application, right? Facebook application, or mainly you are using Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all this, right? So all this all comes under the L7 traffic. Okay. So all this traffic, if this traffic comes to the traditional firewalls, this traditional firewall cannot handle. Okay. Because it does not support, and it only supports up to L3 and L4 only. Okay. So to rule out this, what they did mean they invented an next generation firewalls. Okay. So what next generation firewalls will do? Next generation firewalls will give, okay, advanced security. Okay. Here you can see only basic security which depends on L3 and L4, but next generation firewalls will provide, okay, advanced security. So how it is going to provide advanced security means, so it will provide an deep packet inspection. Okay. So if something comes on the firewall, so where it is coming and why it is coming. Okay. So it is going to do a deep inspection of that particular packet, and it is also going to, okay, verify whether any threats, okay, and antivirus are available on that particular application or the website. And as well as it will also provide an IPS, okay, intrusion prevention. Okay. So it will also, okay, it will also support IPS, and it will also do an deep packet inspection, and it will also verify for that application if there are any threats and antivirus available. But all these things you cannot do with the, okay, traditional firewalls. So next generation firewalls are those which can support, okay, which can give security based on L3 to L7. Along with this, these are all the features that next generation firewall is going to do, which is DPI, which is deep packet inspection, and also the firewall is going to verify whether any threats, antivirus are available on that particular application, whatever you are accessing, and it will also verify IPS, okay, intrusion prevention. Okay. It is for it is the firewall is continuously monitoring. Okay. Where if you enable the IPS, so the firewall will continuously monitor your incoming outgoing traffic, and it will identify whether any threats or antivirus on that particular traffic, and it is going to block. Okay. So it is going to block to before reaching it your private network. Okay. So that is the main purpose of next generation firewalls. Okay. And after, okay, next, okay, after completing traditional firewalls and next generation firewalls, the next interview question you will get is whether Palo Alto is a traditional firewall or next generation firewall. So first question is, in your interview question, first question is what is difference between traditional and next generation firewall. So these are the things that you have to explain. And the next question is whether Palo Alto is a next generation firewall or traditional firewall. Okay. So always Palo Alto is a next generation firewall. Okay. So the Palo Alto is going to provide security to your network based on L3 to L7, as well as it is going to do a deep packet inspection, and it is going to identify threats, antivirus, and also it is also going to provide IPS and IDS. We can also call it as an IDS. It is an intrusion detection and it is intrusion prevention. Okay, it is going to detect and prevent whether there is any threats, antivirus, or vulnerabilities on that particular traffic. Okay, so Palo Alto is a next generation firewall. Okay, so you have to remember this. Someone will ask whether Palo Alto is a traditional firewall or next generation firewall. So you have to answer Palo Alto is a next generation firewall. So what Palo Alto firewall is going to support? Okay, what are the essential features that are available in the Palo Alto firewall? So the first one is traffic control. Okay, so traffic control, as we already discussed here. So here we have learned about the firewall, right? So every firewall will going to uh, control the traffic and based upon the predefined rules. Okay, we are defining the rules in the firewall, right? So it is going, the firewalls are going to monitor and filter all incoming and outgoing traffic based upon the rules. Okay, whatever the rules that we are going to do, so it is going to monitor and filter. So if any unauthorized access, okay, so let's take, I have created a policy. So let's take my source IP is 10.10.10.1. Okay, and my destination IP is, let's take 8.8.8. Okay, so I have created a rule to allow this traffic. Okay, whenever I am pinging from source to the destination, I created a rule to allow the traffic. Okay, I created a rule using this source IP and destination IP. But so someone is coming with 10.10.10.2. Okay, someone is coming with 10.10.10.2 and he is trying to reach internet. Okay, so now what will happen? So the firewall will inspect, right? First the firewall will check the rule whether this 10.10.10.2 to the destination 8.8 is available in the rules or not. Okay, whatever the security rule that we have configured is available here or not. So we have created with 10.1 but we don't have 10.2, right? So the firewall is going to block this. Okay, this will be considered as an unauthorized access and the firewall is going to block this. Okay, if the traffic is coming with 10.1, then only it is going to allow. Okay, so if it is the user coming with 10.2 IP, so it is the firewall is going to block. Okay, this is how the firewall is going to block all unauthorized access. Okay, so this is the first feature or first essential feature that is available in the Palo Alto firewall. Next, it is going to protect against the attack. Okay, so whatever our private network will be there, right? We have already discussed this. So the Palo Alto is an next generation firewall where it is going to identify threats, right? Threats, antivirus, vulnerabilities. So if any, if any threats or antivirus, they are going to identify. So by default or by default it is going to block the traffic. Okay, so let's take, we have a user. Okay, I have a user A. Okay, and he is using Facebook here. Okay, he is using a Facebook here, and we have configured Palo Alto firewall here, and we have a Facebook server. Okay, now he sent a request. Okay, he already created a Facebook, and he is going to use a Facebook from a long time. Okay, now he logged in. Okay, fresh session, he logged in and he sent a request to, he is uploading some files or he is going to chat with someone. Okay, so he's okay, all the information will be available in the server, right? So someone, okay, in this firewall, okay, someone in this server, someone injected some antivirus or malware in this, okay, server. Now whenever we are getting a response from the server, we can see some, okay, threats or antivirus here. Okay, so the what firewall is going to do is, so for the, okay, whatever the response that we are coming, so whatever the response, oh, sorry. Sorry guys, can you see the video? Are you able to see the video?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, okay,
Yes,
perfect.
yes.
Yeah, see here, whenever, okay, whenever the user, okay, whenever user accessing the Facebook, so he sent some request, okay, he sent some request to the some other person, or he is going to upload some videos in the Facebook, or he is going to chat with someone, right? So first request is going to the server, and he want to get the response, right? So someone has injected some antivirus, or maybe whenever they send a request, so it is going not, it is not going with an, okay, it is not going with an actual server, okay, someone in the internet injected a wrong server. So maybe that request coming from the, okay, so that request reaches this wrong server, and whoever attackers, okay, injected some antivirus in this server, okay. Now the request comes to this server and response, okay, this server will respond, right? So to, okay, there are some attackers who want to steal our data by, okay, by inserting some information, right? So now the response will come to the firewall, okay. What firewall will do? The firewall will verify everything, okay. We told you, right, the firewall is going to inspect and filter every incoming and outgoing traffic, okay. So now here, this response, the firewall will detect some antivirus and threats, okay. If the firewall detects antivirus and threats, so it is going to drop the traffic, okay. So before reaching that response to our private network, so the firewall will drop here itself, okay. It is not allowing, so that our network will be in safe hands, okay, by using this firewall. So this Palo Alto firewall is advanced, okay, advanced, it has an advanced threat intelligence. So it is going to identify threats and antivirus before we reaching into our network, okay, and it is going to block the traffic. And we have the next thing is an segmentation, okay. So here, what we are going to do with segmentation means, so if you see in the switching, you have well aware of the VLANs, right? So why we are using VLANs in the switches? Can anyone tell? Can anyone answer
To
why we
break
are?
the large network into a
Segment
small.
the network into smaller.
Okay, that's correct. Is there any answer? Is there any other answer apart from that?
To increase the speed of network.
We divide a single physical switch into multiple,
Yeah,
right?
that is one point. There is one more answer is there. I'm
And
explaining
for
that.
the security purposes, to keeping the
Yes.
traffic into the
Creating
same
one
place
broadcast domain into
according to
multiple
their.
broadcast
Yeah,
domain.
someone told right answer. Who is that?
It zones actually.
One broadcast into multiple broadcast domain.
That is fine, but I have heard some other answer which is correct. So I
Yeah,
think
I mean to say it is to keep the traffic into the same into their space
yes.
for
So
an security purpose.
yeah, for security reason also, not only dividing, okay, not only dividing switch into multiple VLANs or multiple subnets, or dividing switch into the different broadcast domains. So here we are going to use the VLAN for security purpose as well, okay. So in the same way, in the firewall also we have a segmentation, okay. So we have also segmentation, okay. How we are using this segmentation means, so if you take the firewall, okay, we have a firewall. So if all the interfaces, okay, whatever the interfaces that I have, if all the interfaces in one, okay, if all the interfaces in one zone, okay, let's take, okay, and we will be having private internet and public internet, right? So the firewall mostly connecting with private network and public network, okay. So if it is, if this firewall is consist, okay, only one zone, so the whoever sitting in the public, okay, whoever sitting in the public, they will also very easily reach to the private network, right? So in order to provide security in the firewall also, we are going to, okay, divide this firewall into zones, okay. So how we are going to divide means, we are creating a zones. So whatever the interfaces that are connected to the private network, we are creating one zone, okay. And whatever the interfaces that are connected to the public network, we are going to create another zone, so that there will be no access to enter into the one zone, okay. The user in this zone, so will not have access to enter into this zone, okay. And also whoever, okay, public users that are available in this zone, they are not able to enter into the network, okay. So here in the firewall also, we are using an term called zones, okay. How we are using switch, okay, in the switches, how we are using VLANs. So in the firewall we are using the zones. Okay, so by using the term zones, we are going to segment the whole network into the zones. Okay, so we can create whatever the interfaces that are connected to the private network, we are going to create one zone, so that whoever users available in that one zone, okay, they are going to communicate. Okay, between the zone, the users in one zone they are going to communicate, but users in different zone they are not going to communicate. Okay, that is the main criteria of the firewall, so that we can avoid unauthorized access and we can provide more security. Okay, so how we are using VLANs in the switches, we are using the zones in the firewalls. Okay, and next fourth one is in policy enforcement. Okay, so what is policy enforcement, right? So we are creating a policies, right? So we have talked about the rules, so security rules, right? So what is policy enforcement, right? And here we are creating a rules by actions. Okay, we will be having a multiple actions. So if you want to allow, you can configure action as allow. If you want to block, we will be having a deny or drop. So if you want to block something on the firewalls, we have to use this action in the firewall. And if you want to allow something, we talked about the scenario, right? So the user is coming from 10.10.10.1 and he is reaching to 8.8.8.8, right? We have created already, we have created a rule with source IP 10.10.10.1 and the destination IP as 8.8.8. We have already created a rule to allow this traffic. Okay, so the user is coming with 10.10.1 and reaching to 8.8, so it is going to allow. Okay, so here the policy enforcement will happen. Okay, policy enforcement means, so whatever the rule that we have created, it is going to enforce the action. Okay, whatever the action that we have set. So if it is allow, the firewall is going to allow this traffic, and if it is deny or drop, it is going to block. Okay, so this is about the policy enforcement. Okay, so whatever the action that we have set, if you want to allow, you can set the action as an allow, and the traffic will be allowed. And if you want to block certain traffic, so you have to create deny or drop, so that the traffic, whatever the rule that we have created with source IP, destination IP, and you can also mention ports, and you can also mention applications. Okay, so those they are going to match and it is going to block this. Okay, so that is the policy enforcement. And here we'll be having a fifth one is then monitoring and logging. Okay, what is the purpose of monitoring and logging here means, so whatever the traffic receiving on the firewall. Okay, so if you see on the routers, I think mostly you cannot see the logs. You can see the debug session logs, but you cannot see the logs will not be stored on the routers. Okay, but here in the firewalls, what they are going to do is, okay, so whatever the traffic reaching on the firewalls, whatever the traffic reaching on the firewalls, so all these sessions are going to store in the firewalls. Okay, let's take one scenario. We have an user, so and here is an internet. Okay, so this is, it is going to connect like this. So the user successfully, let's talk in your terms. Okay, so most of you are using Facebook and Instagram, right? So the user is sitting here and they have accessed the Facebook. Okay, they have successfully accessing the Facebook and they are successfully accessing the Instagram. Okay, so he is done with that and he shut down this. Okay, he shut down the system and he went to home. And later next day he came. Okay, he again logged in. I logged into the computer and he trying to access the Facebook. Now the Facebook is not accessible. Okay, the Facebook is not accessible here. Maybe something is happened on the firewall, or maybe something happened. Okay, in between. Okay, intermediate device we will be calling. Okay, whatever the devices that are in between. Okay, in your path. Okay, this will be calling as the intermediate device. Something is happened here on the firewall, or something maybe happened on the routers. Maybe in the routers you can create ACLs, right? So you can also create ACLs in the routers, right? So maybe someone has created a ACL on the router, or maybe someone has created a policy in the firewalls. So now it is okay, now the Facebook is not accessing for the user. So what we can do is, the Palo Alto firewall will log every session that is reaching on the, okay, that is reaching on the firewall. So maybe someone has configured a policy here to block the Facebook, but we don't know that. So how we can know? So by checking the logs, okay? So by checking the log, I told you, right, whatever the traffic coming under the firewall, it is going to log that session. So how we are going to identify whether it is the firewall is going to the firewall block the Facebook or not means, so we have to check the logs here, okay? So I will show you how can we check the logs and how we can identify whether what's the issue. I will tell you detailed in the third and fourth session. So now you can just understand, okay, what are the features and what is monitoring and logging, okay? So here logging, monitoring means whatever the traffic coming into the firewall, it is going to inspect, and logging means it is going to log every session, every session for the traffic that is hitting the firewall, okay? So it is going to create a session and it is going to create a log. So we can check the log, okay, why the firewall is going to deny the Facebook application, okay? So maybe because of the rule, or maybe because of some threats or antivirus, that maybe whatever what we don't know what happened on the firewall, but we can suspect that. So how we can confirm is by checking the logs. So by checking the logs, we can confirm whether is Facebook is blocked by the rule that created overnight, or maybe some threats or antivirus identified on the Facebook application, okay? The firewall is going to block. Maybe that may be the reason. So from the firewall perspective, you have to check the logs, okay? So that is where this monitoring and logging will be used in the firewall. And also we'll be having sixth VPN support, okay? So what is VPN support? We'll be having multiple, I think you people are attended maybe IPsec, right? I think July batch, you are all July batch, right? I think you people have attended the IPsec class, it seems. So here the IPsec we can also configure in the routers, or we can also configure in the firewalls. Mostly in real time scenarios, you can see IPsec on the firewalls only, okay? So the firewall, because this IPsec will be configured on the end devices, whatever the devices that are available at the edge of your network. So uh, there it is going to configure. So mostly we will be having in the VPN support, we will be having IPsec VPN, which is site to site, okay, which is S2S, which means site to site, and also we will also having a remote access VPNs, okay, remote access VPNs and SSL VPNs. So these are going to support in the Palo Alto Firewall. We will be having separate session for IPsec. We'll be having separate session for remote access VPNs. We will also separate session for SSL. So you can learn more about that, about the VPN support. Okay. So here what you have to understand means mostly the VPNs are forming, okay, at the end of the edge of the devices. Okay. So the side to side will be forming between the devices which are available in the two sites. So you, okay, we will be having a Tungabhadra network company, right? We will be having Tungabhadra networks company, and one branch office is in Kurnool and one branch office in Hyderabad. Okay. So I want to send some personal, okay, confidential information from Kurnool to Hyderabad branch. So this whatever the information that is flowing, that will be flowing through the internet, right? So internet, there will be maybe uh, many people will be there who are going to access my access my data. So I don't want, okay, anyone access my data, or no one in the internet has see my data, and no one want to change my data. So I am going to use an IPsec VPN for that, for securely sending an data between our sites, okay, the Kurnool branch office and Hyderabad branch office. So maybe remote access VPNs mostly used for users who are working from the remote locations. Means you the company will be in one location and you are sitting in the other location. So you want to access securely about, okay, secure access of all the resources which are available in the your office. So in your words, if I want to tell the people who are working from home, right? So their office may be in the Bangalore. They are sitting somewhere in their home. So they want securely access the information or data that are available inside the company network. So they want, before accessing those, they want to connect to the remote access VPNs. So here in the Palo Alto, we have an Global Protect VPN, which we are going to use as remote access VPNs. We have to install this software, we have to connect, so that it will be forming a secure tunnel, and he will be able to access whatever the resources available in their internal networks securely. Okay, this will be used in the remote access VPNs. Okay, people who are sitting remotely and working, so they are going to use remote access VPNs. Okay, so these are the 6 features that firewall is going to, the Palo Alto firewall is going to support, and each and every feature we can learn in the upcoming sessions. Once you get to know about that, okay, you will be you will be feel like, yeah, we have discussed this in the first session, right? So you will feel like that. So we'll be having, okay, for every topic we'll be having separate sessions, so we'll learn more about that in the future. Okay, and next one we'll be having hardware models. Okay, so you can also the recruiters, they will be also having if firewalls are a software or hardware. Okay, you will also get an doubt whether these firewalls are software or hardware. So here the Palo Alto supports both software and hardware. Okay, the Palo Alto has both hardware firewalls and software firewalls. Okay, so hardware firewalls, we can see, okay, how you have how the routers and switches will be. In the same way the firewall will also be. So the we'll be having management port, we'll be having console port, you will be having how you see traditional routers. So in the same way you will be having Palo Alto firewalls as well, but the working isn't different. Okay, they will work in the different perspective, the routers will work in the different perspective. Okay, and whoever having a capability to maintain the hardware firewalls, and who have a capability to install the hardware firewalls in their data centers, so we have a rack space to handle this hardware firewall, they will opt for the hardware. And if you don't want, okay, here I don't want to take the risk, I don't want to go to the every time I don't want to go to the data center to maintain the firewall, so they are going with an software firewalls. Okay, these software firewalls also we have to install the VMs. So if you have any VM, okay, we'll be having ESXi as a VM. Okay, and we'll also have an KVMs as a VMs, so you can install anywhere. Okay, we'll also having a VMware, right? So which VMware, and apart from VMwares, okay, apart from these ESXi, KVM and VMs, we can also install this software firewalls in the clouds as well. So if you see the cloud as an GCP cloud or Azure, AWS, so these are all the cloud platforms where, okay, you will be having Oracle Cloud or OCP or OCI, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So you can install anywhere in the cloud as well. Okay, if you have access to these clouds, you can also install these softwares in the clouds, and you can access easily. Okay, so if you have a hardware firewalls, there are the different models as well. Okay, so these are the PA, we can call it as the PA series firewalls, which starts with PA. PA means Palo Alto, and number is a model. Okay, so if you see the PA, the number, it is a PA 220. So why we have these many models? So if we have PA 220, that will not work. So it will work. Okay, it will work anywhere, but if you have an okay, how this firewall model will work means, this firewall model will work based upon the enterprise size. Okay, enterprise size. So if you take the real time example, you people are using high end mobiles, and your parents are using some low end mobiles, right? Both will work in the same way, but both will, okay, you will be calling your mom, and both will exchange the information through the phones, both will work in the same way. But what is the difference means, they will be having some less RAM, or they will be having some less memory. So based upon their usage, we will buying them the phones, right? And based upon our usage, we are using mobiles, we are mostly depend nowadays on the mobiles, right, to access anything from. In the end, we need some extra RAM or extra processor. So based upon the usage, and okay, we are going to select the mobile, right? In the same way, the Palo Alto is also designed the hardware models based upon the enterprise size. Okay, so if the enterprise size, if that enterprise has less traffic, okay, and they have less number of users, so buying an high end model will not, okay, suitable for them, right? So if they have 50 users, and they, okay, if they have 50 users, there will be a less traffic, right? So these high-end models will be costing like crores of rupees. So if their company size is small and if their budget is low, going with high-end models is not usable, right? So they will go with low-end models. Okay, they will work in the same way, but the processor wise and RAM wise, okay, they will be a differ. Okay, but handling the traffic wise also differs, but providing a security will not, okay, anywhere the Palo Alto will not compromise software in any of the models, but based upon the enterprises they have to choose their models. If you have 50 users and your company size, okay, your company budget is less, and going with crores of rupees firewalls, that will not use, right? So that will, they purchasing a PA 220 or PA 400 firewall also, that will work for them. So they are going with, okay, the small size business or branch offices, they are going with this PA 220 or PA 400 series firewalls. And if it is small to medium size companies, okay, and they are going with PA 800, or if it's a medium size company, they are going with PA 3200. If they have a larger enterprises, okay, and data centers, so they need data centers and larger enterprises, they will be handling multiple customers and multiple user traffic, right? They are running multiple services and multiple, they are also handling some projects, multiple projects. So they need high-end devices, so that they'll go with 5200. And if you see here PA 7000, mostly these are the high performance, and you can mostly see these series firewalls in the ISPs. Okay, ISPs will mostly connect with the different customers. Like if you want, okay, we will be having ISPs like Geo, Vodafone, Airtel will be having ISP, right? Those those will be having customers, okay, they who are providing internet, okay, mostly these ISPs are providing internet to everyone, right? So they are handling a large number of traffic. So if they are handling large number of traffic, they need high performance devices. So these PA 7000 series firewalls will handle that. Okay, so these 7000 series firewalls will be placed in that ISPs and manage the uh, high traffic in their environment. Okay, and these are the models that we have, and the latest they have introduced the PA, okay, PA 1400 as well. So it will also used in the, okay, larger enterprises. And but it, they have introduced one new feature here, which is called PoE. Okay, so in this PoE, what is PoE means? It is power over Ethernet. So in it will provide, okay, it will provide both. It will transfer the data, at the same time it is also give power to the devices. Okay, so there will be an, okay, if you take the, you can you have seen the IP phones, right? Cisco, Avaya, or you will seeing the IP phones. So how they are getting data, and at the same time how they are turning on the power by using the PoE. If you see here, PoE switches or PoE routers will be there. So these PoE switches, these IP phones, it is connected to that particular PoE port. So they are going to provide internet, or they are going to provide the data as well as power as well. Power, this needs a power as well, right, to turn on. So the particular port which is supported by PoE, they are going to provide power and also data further. So all these series we don't have a PoE, but the newly introduced firewalls will be having an PoE, which is going to support. Okay, these are the hardware models, and we'll be having an VM firewalls as well. So VM firewalls also in the same way, based upon the enterprise, okay, enterprise size. So you can also go ahead and choose what are the VM models that you want. So we will be having VM 50, VM 100, 300, and 500 based upon the requirement. So the, okay, the customers or whoever want the firewalls, they are going to purchase with the Palo Alto. Okay, these are the hardware and software models. Software will be calling as an VM. Okay, don't confuse. You told software and you are mentioning VM now. So software and VM are both are same here. And here, if you see here, we'll be having, okay, we'll be, these are the some pictures I have taken from the internet. So this is PA 220 firewall. So it will be like an small sweet box. Okay, so it will just, you can also carry with your hands. Okay, and these are the PA 400 series firewalls. So we'll be having 3 models in the PA 400 series, and here you will be having PA 800, which has PA 820 and 850, and this is PA52, okay, series firewalls. It will be having PA 220, PA 52, sorry, PA 5220, 5250, 5260, and 5280 are the models, and we'll be having 3 models here in the PA 300 series, 3200 series firewalls. And if you see here, 7000 series firewalls are big firewalls. Okay, it will be like 16 unit track or 18 unit track in the that big. These PA 7000 series firewalls are, okay. So mostly they will be having, okay. If you want, see here, these firewalls, okay, whatever the firewalls that we are seeing here, apart from 7000 series firewalls, every firewall you can do, okay, you can exchange, okay. If something is happening on the firewall, we can do an RMA, okay. RMA means they will be, okay, what if the firewall is crashed or if the firewall is dead, so they will be replaced with the refurbished, okay, a refurbished device. So refurbished device is not an fresh device or new device. So whatever the firewalls, okay, whatever the firewalls or crashed or dead, so they will again refurbished, okay. Refurbished in sense they will work on the devices and they will make it is function, and they will replace, okay, whenever something is happen on that firewall, they will be replacing with the refurbished devices, okay. Nowadays in the Flipkart and Amazon you can see refurbished mobiles. Refurbished mobiles means, so if you see new mobiles and refurbished mobiles, there will be an cost difference will be very less. So you refurbished mobile means they are also a new one, but not, okay, that not that new ones, okay. Already they are someone is using for 3 months, or someone is using for 6 months, and that they have, okay, they have sell in the second hand. So they will be bring they someone will bought that mobiles, and they are again they are what they will do means they will exchange the panels, or they will exchange, if something is happen on the display, they will exchange the display, and they are going to sell as a refurbished mobiles, okay. In the same way, the firewall will also do, okay, the firewall will also exchange it as an RMS, okay. If something is happen on the firewalls, or something crash, or the firewall is dead, okay, so they are going to do an RMA. RMA means they are going to refurbishing, okay, they are going to replace this, okay, dead device with a refurbished device, but that is not a new firewall, that is a refurbished device, okay. And but these 7000 series firewalls, you cannot, okay, you cannot do RMA. RMA means you cannot replace this entire firewall. But how we, if something is happen on these firewalls, how you can? But if you see here, you will be having modules here, okay. So you cannot replace this entire firewall, but you can replace the modules, okay. So whichever module you have dead or lost, so you can take out this, okay. You will be having screws here, so take out this and replace it with the whatever the other one you got, okay, from the RMA. So these are the firewall models that you can see, okay. And next thing, we will be having an interface types. So if you see here, on every firewall you can see some set of interfaces. So on the PA220 you will be having RJ45, all RJ45. If you see on the 800 series firewall, some are RJ45 and some are fiber ports. So you have learned you have learned in the CCNA, right? So RJ45 cables, and you have seen some fiber ports. So in these fiber
SFA
ports,
port.
SFP ports, yes. So in these fiber ports, you can insert SFPs. So where the SFPs modules will be there. So you have to insert the SFP modules, and you have to connect that with the fiber optics cable. Okay. So but in this, you can directly connect the RJ45 cable. You will be having Cat6 or Cat5 cables will be there. RJ45 you can connect in this RJ45s, and you can use. Okay. See here, for every for every networking device, okay, not only the firewalls, not only routers, not only switches, for every networking device, there will be a management interface. There will be a console port. Okay, management port, console port. Okay, so why we will be having management and console port means, so in order to access the device, okay, so we want to configure something, right? If the device has to be work, you have to do something on that firewall. So in order to do that, we need to first access the device, right? So in the same way, the firewall will also having management port and console port. So first for a new device, so whoever bringing the new device, first they will be okay, they will be having a laptop. Okay, they are connecting RJ45 here, and they are okay, and if you have HDMI or RJ45 you can connect here, and next other side of the cable you can connect on the console port, and you can log in. Okay, you can take the serial port access here, COM port, and you can access the device. Okay, first they will be okay configuring the IPs on the management interface. Okay, so here this management interface will be connected to the uplink devices, whatever the uplink routers or uplink routers will be there, right? So where they have configured an DSCP here on the uplink routers. So they are okay, they are going to take one IP from the DSCP pool, and here they are going to connect to this firewall management IP, so that so once we have configured management IP on this firewall, so you can directly okay take SSH of that firewall. Okay, by if you want to configure something on the firewall, so you have to take SSH, or this firewall will also support GUI. Okay, from the web also you can access. Mostly the Palo Alto firewall we are going to do on the GA only. Okay, so we are not going to do anything on the SSH apart from the troubleshooting. So that you no need to remember any commands here. Okay, in the Palo Alto this is one good thing. So everything that you need to configure or everything that you need to troubleshoot, you can do it on the web GUI. Okay, so you can get an web prompt, so where you can see everything here on the firewall. So whatever you want, you can go just click and you can configure there. Okay, that is one good thing. So you no need to remember any comments. Okay, you can go ahead, log into the GUI, whatever you want you can click and configure. So here that is a one good thing we will be having. So we can learn about okay other ports as well. Okay, so management port, the first one is an management interface. Okay, so management interface, this is a dedicated interface that you can see on every networking device. So to access the firewall using SSH or web interface. Okay, in this case the Palo Alto firewall is going to support web interface, which will be calling as an web GUI. Okay, and the SSH. Okay, you can through SSH you can use a CLI, right? The firewall CLI. Okay, so using SSH you can access the CLI. Using web interface you can use the GUI of the firewall. Using a management interface. Okay, using a management interface IP. So you have to log in. So how you can get management interface IP? So how we have discussed here. So this is the way you can configure, or you can get directly from the uplink router. So you can know about the management interface IP, and you can log in. Okay, once you log in, do whatever you want. Okay, whatever the configuration that you want you can do. Okay, so the next interface will be having a HA interface. Okay, I am talking, this management interface is a dedicated interface now. Okay, this is a dedicated interface that we have for management, and whatever the rest, all these ports we are talking about these ports. Okay, so here in the Palo Alto firewall we will be having two planes. Okay, one is an management plane. Okay, so the firewall will be having management plane and data plane. Okay, so all the management traffic will be flowing through the management plane using an management interface. Okay, so this management interface is responsible for the management plane traffic, and all the apart from management interface, every interface that you can see here, that is we can call it as a in-band interface. I think you have mostly heard about the in-band interface, right? So we can call it as a in-band or data plane interface. Okay, so these data plane interfaces are mostly carrying our real traffic. Okay, so if you okay, if you take a window, okay, if you take a Windows machine and you have connected directly to the firewall, one of the interface. Okay, so now you are pinging something. Okay, you want to reach the internet, so you are pinging 8.8.8.8. Okay, so this is our real traffic. Okay, this is our real traffic where it is going through the data plane. Okay, the data plane, or the data plane is which where it is going to control, or it is going to manage the real traffic, our real traffic. But rest management traffic will be there, right? Whatever the management traffic, in the sense you are accessing something on the firewall, like you are configuring something on the firewall, or you are doing some SNMP stuff. Okay, you are going to monitor this firewall using some monitoring tools, that all will be calling as a management traffic that will be handled by the management interface. Okay, So this now we are talking about data plane interface. Okay, these are all about the data plane interfaces. So the second one is an okay high HA interface. Okay, HA in the sense high availability. High availability. So what is high availability in the Palo Alto means? So I think you people are heard about VRRP, right? So you people know about the VRRP and I think HSRP as well and GLBB, right? You people know about all this. I think you are well aware of the VRRP, I think, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So what you are doing in the VRRP means you are taking the two routers. One will be acting as an active, one will be acting as a standby, and our real traffic will be flowing through the active. Whenever this active router goes down, and this standby will become active, and our real traffic will shift it towards this router, right? So in the same way, in the Palo Alto also we will be having this concept, okay, redundancy concept. We will be calling as a redundancy. So which will be used. So for redundancy in the Palo Alto, we are using an concept called high availability. So here in the high availability, we are using two firewalls. Okay, so here we are using two firewalls. So to form an high availability, we need separate interfaces. Okay, so separate interface. So here we'll be having two interfaces: HA1 high availability one interface and HA2 high availability interface 2. Okay, so some routers will be having dedicated HA interfaces. If you see here, if I want to show you, so if you see here, these are the management and console. Okay, this is one port is management, one port is console. Apart from that, you can see on the right side, right? So under two RJ45 ports. So one is for HA1, the first interface for HA1, and second interface for HA2. Okay, we'll be having a different concept. Okay, we'll be having separate session for high availability. I will tell you more about this high availability, but in this interface type we have to learn about the interface, right? So we'll be having two HA interfaces, one is for HA1 and HA2. So but some firewalls we don't have dedicated H interface. If you see here, we'll be having management console, but you don't have anything about, okay, anything separate like H1 and H2. So in that case, what we are going to do is we are going to use any of the free data plane interfaces. Okay, so we can use data plane interface where you cannot see HA dedicated H interface. If you have dedicated H interface, you can use that. Otherwise, you can use data plane interface. So PA220 and PA400, you cannot see dedicated H interfaces, but other firewalls you can see. Okay, so these H interfaces will be mostly used for forming an high availability between the firewalls to, okay, to have a redundancy in the network. So the next thing we'll be having an tap interface. Okay, what is a tap interface? So I have a separate diagram for this. I will explain with that diagram. Okay, so here we'll be having tap interface. So this is our diagram for the tap interface concept. Okay, so let's take just forget about this. Okay, forget about this part for now. So let's take we don't have this part. Let's I have, okay, I have a private network, I have an internet, and here from the LAN network, okay, I'm successfully accessing internet, and I'm able to use Facebook, I'm able to use Instagram, everything working fine. Okay, so now after some days, okay, after some days, the administrator want to know, okay, if any unauthorized traffic entering in our network, entering in my network or not. Okay, so in that case they don't have any, okay, the routers or the switches, they don't have, okay, those are the intelligent devices, but they don't have an option to they don't have an option to log, right? So we have discussed about logging and monitoring. So firewalls and switches, they will have the session, but they don't log the sessions. Okay, so here what we are going to do means, so we are using, okay, we are using a firewall with tap interface. Okay, so we can also here, okay, you can also call it as a mirror. Okay, so mirror instance, the same way. Okay, if you stand in front of the mirror, you can see the same image of you, right? So in the same way, so here the administrator want to, okay, administrator want to know if any unauthorized access. So without interrupting the traffic, okay, without interrupting the traffic or without changing anything in the network, So the administrator want to know if any unauthorized access entering into the network. Okay, so for that purpose we are using a firewall with a tap interface. Okay, so we are aside, okay, attaching the firewall to the switch. Okay, so here we'll be having a switch, so attaching a firewall, okay, firewall to this switch, and here the interface, whatever the interface that we are connecting here, we'll be calling, okay, we'll be configuring as an tap interface. And here on the switch side, okay, whatever the interface that you have configured, you have configured as a span. Okay, so span or mirror interface, we will be calling as a span or mirror interface. So what this switch will do means, whatever the traffic entering into your network, the switch will be, okay, the switch also passes the traffic, right? Whatever the traffic that is flowing through the network, so it will also send one copy of the traffic to the firewall. Okay, so the firewall what will do, the firewall, whatever the traffic receiving on the firewall, it is going to log, right? So it is going to create a log, and if administrator want to know if any unauthorized access that is coming into your network, so they will check, they will log into the firewall, and they will be checking, okay, they will be auditing. Okay, for every 3 months, 6 months, there is some network auditing will be going on in your companies, right? If someone is working, okay, they are well aware of there something going on network auditing, like, so what they are doing means they will be accessing these logs, and they will be checking if any unauthorized if any unauthorized IP, or if any IP other than whatever their network IPs, okay, and they are going to auditing those logs, and they will be identifying any other different IP that is coming entering into the network. Okay, so with this, okay, the tap interface will be helpful with this, okay, to in order to identify any unauthorized access entering into a network. So the switch will be mirroring the traffic. Okay, so whatever the traffic that switch receives, it is going to mirror the same on this firewall, so that the administrator has a visibility for that logs, and they are going to auditing. Okay, so that is the purpose of the tap interface. Okay, now they are, okay, they are just identifying an unauthorized access. Okay, they are just going to unauthorized access, but here they are not going to anything. Okay, so we'll come with vware next, so I will tell you what is the purpose of the vware as well. Before that, we'll be having layer 2, layer 3. So what is the layer 2 means, in the firewall, whenever you, okay, in the firewall, whenever you have configured one port, okay, whenever you have configured port as an L2 interface, okay, so whenever you configured port as an L2 interface, that will be acting as a switch. Okay, and it is passing the traffic based upon the MAC addresses. Okay, how the switch work, the port will also work in the same way. Okay, so checking the MAC addresses, maintaining a MAC address table, okay, everything will be functioning as an, okay, L2 device. And if you see the L3 interface, whenever you configured one particular interface on L3, so it will be acting as a router. So whenever the traffic receives on this, okay, interface, it is going to verify the routes, whether we have a route to the destination or not, or whether you have you have a reachability to the next stop or not. Everything is doing with this port. Okay, so each port will be, okay, if you configured one port as an L3 and one port as an L2, so one that port will be acting as a router, another port will be acting as a switch as well. Okay, that is the purpose of L2 and L3 interface. Now we will be having a virtual wire interface. Okay, so we will be also calling as an vwire interface. Now in this tap interface, so you have identified the unauthorized access, right? So now the administrator want, okay, so they are seeing some huge number of unauthorized access entering into a network. Okay, so now they want to, okay, so without changing anything in the network, even single subnet or single IP, without changing anything in the network, they want to block the traffic. So tab interface will going to identify unauthorized traffic, and we need to, okay, the administrator want to block that unauthorized traffic. Okay, so for that we are going to use virtual wide interface. Okay, so how we are going to install that virtual wire interface with Palo Alto means, so see here, this is our, let's take, this is our internal network. Okay, this is our external network. So whatever the traffic coming from internal internet to the external, so there may be some multiple number of unauthorized access coming to a network. So we want to block that. Okay. So now whatever we are going to do is we are going to install a firewall with, okay, two interface, okay, with the two interfaces or two ports, we can call as a ports. Take the two ports, keep these two ports in one virtual wire, okay, we'll be calling as an virtual wire. So keep that two ports in a virtual wire. So these sorry guys, whenever you configure two ports as a virtual wire, so these ports will act, okay, these port will act as a transparent, okay. So if you keep the firewall in between also, this will be like a transparent, so it will be acting as a transparent, and whatever coming into a network and whatever going to network, the firewall is going to log, and it will also maintaining a log, okay, right. So if the auditors want to block something, they will be going to create a rules to block, okay. So the tap interface will mainly use it for to recognize unauthorized access, and the virtual wire, okay, is used to block that unauthorized access using a firewall. But we are not, okay, we are not going to change, okay, we are not going to change anything in the network. We are just adding a firewall to your network, okay, in between private and public, and configuring, okay, taking two ports and configuring that in a virtual wire, okay. So configuring them in a virtual wire, so whenever you configure in a virtual wire, they will be acting as a transparent, okay. So any do no one know there is a firewall in between, but there is a firewall, and they are taking the, okay, they are monitoring, and they are taking logs, and whatever, okay, if they want to block some, okay, whatever the traffic they want, we can create a rules and we'll block them, okay, transparently without knowing anyone. So we are going to block the traffic which are unauthorized to our network, okay. That is the main purpose of the virtual wire. And next one, we will be having aggregate interface. So this aggregate interface will, okay, this aggregate interface will be working like as an port channels, okay. So port channels or ether channels, right. So you have well aware of the ether channel or port channel, right. So in the same way, the aggregate interface will work. So we are combining of multiple physical interface into one logical interface in order to increase the bandwidth and also in order to have redundancy, okay. So that is the main purpose of, okay, aggregate interface here in the Palo Alto. Same like how you are using port channels and ether channels in the Cisco routers or switches, okay, you can use that port channel ether channel, right. So in the Palo Alto, you will be having aggregate interface. And next we'll be having a VLAN interface, okay. So this VLAN interface is used to carry the VLAN traffic, particular VLAN traffic, okay. If you have multiple VLANs, okay, so you have to create an interface for that. So in the Palo Alto, you can, okay, you can configure multiple, okay, the one physical interface will able to carry a multiple VLAN traffic, okay. How it means, so you can take one port, so you can divide that into sub interfaces, okay. So sub interface 1, sub interface 2, sub interface 3, and you can attach, okay, whatever the VLAN configuration that you want, VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 30. So whatever the traffic that's received on the VLAN 10, this sub interface will take care of that, and whatever the traffic comes into the VLAN 20, this sub interface will take care, and whatever the traffic reaches the VLAN 30, this sub interface will take, okay. So here the VLAN traffic mostly configured on single interface using a sub interface, okay. And for this we need to create a sub interface, and the particular sub interface will carry the particular VLAN traffic, okay. And here we'll be having an tunnel interface. So we have discussed about VPN support, right, the IPsec VPNs and remote access VPNs. For that we need a tunnel interface. So this will be configuring, okay, by configuring a tunnel interface, it will form a logical tunnel between your, okay, sites, and this tunnel interface will be helpful to send an information securely and traffic securely between your, okay, between your sites or between your networks, okay. So these are the multiple interface types that we have, okay, that we have in the Palo Alto firewall. So mainly the management interface is different for all the management traffic, and rest of the interface we can use for the data plane traffic, okay. So whatever the interface that you want, you can go ahead, take one data plane interface, you can configure that type of interface that you want, and rest that interface will take care of that, okay. So these are the interface type that we have. And next one, okay, we'll be having a zones. Okay, so we have discussed, right, zones is used for segmentation. So in order to have security, or in order to provide security for that particular private network from the public network, we are going to create a zones. Okay, so here, see here, we have a Palo Alto firewall here. So this is one zone, so which we'll be calling as an inside zone. So you can name whatever you want. Okay, in the Palo Alto firewall, the name recommendation is not okay, something that we are defined. So whatever you want, you can use the names. Okay, so for the private network, you can use private zone, or public network, you can use the public zone. But in this picture, it is shown, okay, the private network which you will be, okay, calling as an inside zone, and public network will be calling as an outside zone. Okay, so here we are going to create a zones. So multiple, okay, whatever the private network will be having, we'll creating one zone and calling as the inside zone. So the users lies inside that zone, okay, will be able to access, or whatever the information that they are going to share, they will be able to communicate within the zone. And if they want to access the something from the different other zones, so the firewall is going to block. Okay, so here how the firewall is going to block means, they will be having some intra-zone and inter-zone. Okay, intra-zone traffic and inter-zone traffic. Okay, so intra-zone means within the zone. Okay, within the zone the traffic is allowed by default. Okay, and inter-zone traffic means between the different zones. Between the different zones, the firewall is obviously going to block the traffic, because for the security reason we are creating a zones, right? So between the zones, it is going to block the traffic between the zones. Okay, and we'll be having one more zone called demilitarized zone. Okay, DMZ zone. So why we are creating this DMZ zone means, so you have an, okay, you have a firewall, and you have your okay, you have your private network here. Okay, you have your private network. Inside of your private network, you will be having some servers. Okay, you will be having some servers which are public, okay, which are public placed. Public place means they are going to access. Okay, so they, whoever going to access these servers, they want, okay, they are using the public IP address. So if the servers having public IP address, whoever sitting in the internet also, they are going to access the servers. Okay, so if someone is coming from the public and that servers are available in our private zone, so they are also able to enter in our private network, right? So in order to isolate our okay, private network with the servers that are publicly, okay, publicly faced, so we are creating a demilitarized zone. Okay, so demilitarized zone, we are creating demilitarized zone, and we are placing those servers in the demilitarized zone, so that we are isolating our private network with the servers which are publicly faced. Okay, so now the users coming from, okay, the users coming from the outside, so they are directly going to the demilitarized zone, and they are accessing the servers without, okay, without entering into the private network. Okay, so for that reason we have created a demilitarized zone. So recently we have faced some issues. Okay, how it will means, we have taken one public IP from the okay, ISP, and we have, okay, we have hosted the cloud. Okay, we have hosted the cloud lab in the cloud. But what we have done means, we haven't created demilitarized zone. Okay, we haven't created demilitarized zone, and we have placed everything in an trusted zone. So someone is coming from the outside and they are going to access the resources which are inside. They are not able to access. They are not getting an access. Here, the user is sitting here. They are accessing some firewalls and devices which are in the cloud lab. So they are not able to access, because we haven't, okay, in the routers, we haven't created a demilitarized zone, and we are placed everything in a private zone. Okay, so the firewall, okay, whatever the router will be having, right, that is stopping, okay, the firewall is stopping that access to the users. So after creating a demilitarized zone and placing the, okay, whatever the servers will be having in the demilitarized zone, so outside user, they are successfully accessing. Okay, so for this purpose we are creating a demilitarized zone. Okay, some okay, some servers will be there which we are going to access with the public IP. So if the public, okay, if the servers are available in the private zone with the public IP, there may be a chance of okay entering into your private network. So for that reason we are going to create a demilitarized zone. Okay, so with these zones we have completed our first session. Okay, for day one of this Palo Alto. So in this session we have learned about what is a firewall, what is traditional firewall and next generation firewall, is Palo Alto is a traditional firewall and next generation firewall. So essential features in the firewalls, hardware models, software models, interface types, okay, and zones. So this ends our first class. Do you have okay? Now the session open for you. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Yes, I have one query, not regarding this one, like
Mm-hmm.
general.
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, Yeah, regarding labs and setups, do we need to come to like our KPHB office?
Regarding the lab setup, you no need to come to the KBHB office because as of now we don't have any firewalls in the lab. So soon we
Hmm.
are going to okay buy this PA220 firewall to have hands-on experience. So by this month or by mid of September, we are going to buy okay PA220 firewalls. So as of now, you no need to come to the KBHB office for practicing. So we are going to install lab okay in your laptops itself. So here, see here, you have to have okay laptop with 16 GB ROM, 16 GB of RAM, so that it will be helpful for you to do an labs smoothly. Okay, if you don't have 16 GB of RAM, or if your laptop with 8 GB RAM, try to extend that GB to 16 GB. So yeah, so that it will be helpful for you only to do a lab in your local setup.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
For any other queries, like any practical
Hmm.
doubts, or can we come to office?
Yeah, for any other practical, you can come to the office, or actually, I will not available in the office. So I will be mostly. You can reach out to me on WhatsApp, or you can directly call me. If needed, we'll be okay. We'll connect one to one so that I will help you to resolve all your queries. Okay. And
Yes.
also we'll be having Akshay as well, so you can also reach out to him. He is also in Palo Alto tech engineer, so he will be helpful. And I will be also there. I will also help you to resolve any of queries regarding lab setup or regarding any of the sessions related to particular day or particular session.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Like
For
before,
Yes, go
sorry,
ahead.
someone is speaking. Yeah, go ahead.
this troubleshooting group, is that group we can use for this as well? Any issues or anything? We can
Uh,
post anything.
Troubleshooting. This is after the okay. This is after the course. You can join troubleshooting. You can post anything there. But during the course, you will be having a group, right? Separate. We have a separate group. During the course, if you have any suggestions or if you have any doubts, you can post in that group. We'll be there and we'll also help. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
That's troubleshooting session. That is a post completion of the course. Okay, you will. I think you are already joined in the CCNA troubleshooting session.
Yes,
So
yes.
that will be post completion of the course. So as of now, we will be having dedicated WhatsApp group, right? So for trouble, whatever the doubts you have and whatever the help that you need, you can post that in the respective group. I will be also be there, so I will help
The
you.
contact person will be like Vinay or any
No, no,
other
no.
person.
For this, you can contact me or Harsha. We'll both
Okay,
available in the group. Okay, you can just reach out to me or Harsha. We'll both help you. Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions, guys, related to this today's topic? Did you got that okay overview of the firewall, right? Anyone didn't understand, or do you have any questions, or do you need any clarification anywhere during this session?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
Like as you told, we are going to be practicing like we are going to have a CLI and GUI.
Yes.
And when it's come to labs, how we will be proceeding with the GUI? Are we going to have a panorama, or how come we are proceeding on that?
No, no, no. For GUI, you see, if you want to access the GUI, what I told you, we will be having a management interface, right? So whatever the management interface IP will be having, we are going to, okay, we are going to configure management interface IP, and we are using that management interface IP, we are getting access to that firewall GUI. So how
No,
you can,
my query is like,
mm,
how we will be practicing in GUI about these sessions after completion of the sessions if we
uh,
want to create any rules or zones or anything.
yeah, that's what I am telling. Okay, so here I will tell you. Okay, here we are going to use an tool called EVNG. Okay,
Okay, okay.
EVNG tool, where you are going to deploy firewalls, Windows mission for our lab. Okay, once you deploy the firewall, so you can have an ability to add that firewall in the GUI console. So in the EVNG, you will be having a cloud network, okay, which they are going to provide management IP to your firewall. Okay, you are going to connect that cloud to your management interface of the firewall. See, the here this is a management cloud. Okay, in this management cloud, you will be having DHCP server. So by default, the management interface of the firewall is acting as a DHCP client. Okay, so once you connect this cloud to the management interface, so it will fetch, okay, it will request the IP from the DHCP server, and you will be having, okay, management IP on this management interface. Okay, once you get management interface, so you have to log into the CLI. Okay, so we'll be having a Windows client where you can get the CLI of the firewall. So directly you will get, okay, once you spin up the firewall and once you started the firewall, you can directly get the CLI of the firewall. From the CLI, you will be having command called show interface management, where it gives the management interface details. Okay, from there you can get the IP. Okay, take that IP, go ahead on your browser. So type you are using HTTPS and firewall IP. Okay, so if you see here, it will, this is my panorama IP address, management IP address, where it is, where I am going to access the panorama management IP. Okay, so you have to give
Okay,
management IP here so that you will directly get the GUI of the firewall like this. Okay,
okay. Yeah, I
yeah,
got it. I got it.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Once we successfully install the lab, okay, we are going to demonstrate one session for, okay, how you can access the firewalls, and how to build a topology, and how to connect, okay, how to make the connections. Everything we'll be having one session, so so that you can understand the things. Okay, don't no need, no need
Okay,
to worry
thank you.
about that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
These labs are also in GNS3 or VMs.
Yeah, not GNS3. I told you it is in the EVNG. That is a different tool that we are going to use for the Palo Alto.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, any other questions related to the to today's topic?
Anna, will you post this recording section?
Oh yes. After this
Okay.
class, I'm going to provide you a recording video. Not only this, for every class, we'll be having separate recording video. Okay. So don't worry about that. I'm going to provide you a link so that you can access.
Bro, one more.
Thank.
Yes. Go ahead.
I already installed in AVNG. I
Mm-hmm.
use it to
Mm.
FortiGate,
Okay.
and also this also installed.
Okay. So you can use that same one. No issues.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay.
No need to going with a different one. You can use the same one.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, what is the duration of this course?
So
How many
duration of
days
this
it will?
course is 25 days. So in these 25 days, we are going to cover whatever we have discussed in the demo class, and also you can see the content on our okay channel, or you can go to the portal and you can verify the contents that we are covering during these 25 days.
Can we give the certification after this course for the PCNSE?
Actually, we have designed this course. Okay, we have designed this course in such a way that you need to, okay, if you face any issues, you need to tackle, right. We have designed in such a way for certification. You need extra preparation. So there are some topics which are we are not going to cover in this that will not required for that. Okay, So if you want to take PCNSE certification, you need to have some extra preparation for this.
Are you going to get dumps for that?
Dumps, no. Actually, we don't have dumps right now. We are trying to get, but let's see how it goes. As of now, we don't have any dumps for that.
Okay, it will be great if you suggest us
Yeah,
to
yeah,
cover
yeah.
up those topics from somewhere else. So it will
Yeah,
be
I
better
will.
us to go for that certification.
Yes, yes, yes. I will suggest you once the completion of this course. So just reach out to me. I will suggest those topics as well.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
thank
issues.
you.
Yeah, no issues. Yes. Yeah, guys. Anything? Yeah. Okay, guys. If you don't have any questions, we can wind up this session here. Any questions? Just let me know.
Yeah, thank you, bro, for this session.
Yeah, no issues. Yeah, guys, we can wind up this session here, okay? And tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we don't have any class. So, what I will do means I will provide you with the list of okay software that you need to download. Okay, for that required for our Palo Alto lab. I will provide you with those softwares, so you can just keep okay download and keep it is handy. So we can going to do an lab setup on Tuesday, so that will be helpful for us once you download. Okay, just keep it is handy, download and keep it in any folder in your laptop, so that will be handy whenever we are setting up a lab. Okay, so after
Okay, bro.
yeah,
Sure.
after this session, along with that session link, I am also going to provide the list of software that you need to download. So go ahead and download those and keep it is handy. And once we are doing an lab setup, that will be helpful. Okay.
Yeah, is there any videos, bro, for that installation?
Yes, yes,
Or
I have a dedicated video for that. I will also share that video. If you want,
okay,
you can try on yourself, and if you face any issues, we can discuss on that day. Okay, Tuesday.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining session, and we can meet you on Monday at same time. Okay, bye.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye, bye, everyone.